Hello and welcome to this full ship tour of MSC Virtuosa. This video was taken at the end of February 2023 on a cruise, 7-day cruise between Hamburg, Zeebrugge, Rotterdam and Le Havre. First part here, we are right at the beginning of the ship in the Grand Theatre, just coming back out of it now. And that is deck 6. So starting at the front of the ship, deck 6, and walking straight out of the theatre past the really clever lifts and out directly into Galleria Virtuosa. Now, Galleria Virtuosa is absolutely stunning. It was really fantastic sight, and the roof pictures, the videos that they had on the roof. I thought it might be a little bit of a gimmick, but it wasn't. It was, again, absolutely stunning. So that's really recommended. So as we walk down here now, we're going past mainly shops. So on the left-hand side there, you've got excursions. On the right, you've got Jean-Philippe gelato and pancakes. I think pancakes there, or crepes. Luxury Plaza, they just tended to have things like clearance handbags and perfumes, that kind of stuff. The right hand side there, we've got L'Atelier Bar and Art with Indochine at the back, which was a really good meal. That one's really recommended. More shops here. I think this was called Virtuosa Boutique on the left hand side. And I think doors on the left and the right there tend to be loading doors for embarking and disembarking. Okay, we'll go down the stairs here in the atrium, down to deck 5. Deck 5 doesn't really have a lot on it. You have kind of like this central section here with the piano, and the rear goes through to the Blue Danube restaurant, which is the Bella restaurant, the largest one, but still fantastically decorated. You can see here on the sides all these wine bottles that are put into these glass showcases. Unfortunately, it was closed at this time, so we're not going inside. But yeah, it's same theme inside there as the rest of the ship. Lots of glass, lots of mirrors, very highly polished. Now we're going from the back of the ship back towards the front of the ship on deck 5 still, and the rest of deck 5 is just the complaints desk, or the customer services, and the infinity bar just below these steps here. Okay, back up on deck 6. There's Rob, the robot bartender. I think it was 14 euros every cocktail, something like that. It was too expensive to do on the whim anyway. Okay, this is going back towards the back of the ship again, and these are the other dining restaurants. So at the back here you've got the Symphony, the Opera and Minuetto restaurants. Again, very tastefully decorated, very classy with all of the wine bottles in the glass. And I think these ones are for guests who have the Fantastica or Ria experience, or Yacht Club if anyone wanted to use the main dining. Apologies if the camera is wobbling about a little bit. It's a GoPro which has software stabilization on it, and it works well most of the time, but in certain scenes it can't track very well, so the footsteps don't get taken out, unfortunately. Okay, back to the Atrium, still on deck 6. Going back past the internet hub and the photo hub, just there on the left hand side, and now up onto deck 7. Deck 7 is where all of the restaurants, well, most of the restaurants are, and a few more bars. This is the champagne bar here, leading through onto the part that's above the Galleria Virtuosa. These kind of walkways on the side. So first of all we have Butcher's Cut. I don't eat meat, but we did have a meal there, and it was very nice with some slightly restricted but absolutely fine vegetarian options for me. That is teppanyaki, I think it was called, the one sushi restaurant, and then you've got the sushi bar here. Then walking up further, we have the fantastic Masters of the Seas pub. I'm absolutely convinced that the design brief for this was make it look like Hogwarts. Not really any cocktails as such in here, but lots of beers, and they do beer tails, so almost there. You can sit inside or outside that. Some nice wall art there, and then this is the front end of the top of Galleria Virtuosa. Now into the TV studio and bar. This place felt a little bit pointless. It just seemed like an overspill area for people who couldn't find anywhere else. They did do karaoke in there most nights, but the seats were just kind of scattered everywhere, and there wasn't really much of a draw. It was just, if you can't find anywhere else to sit, then that's another bar to go to. Now, this is the Il Campo restaurant. We didn't use it. We didn't ever see it open or being used. I'm sure it was, but we don't know anything about it, I'm afraid. Now, just going over this central section where on the evenings the band sets up. Really good band. All accomplished musicians playing all your favourite tunes. So, still on deck 7, going towards the rear of the ship again, back past the sushi places, and then Butcher's Cut again. Again, just before leaving this area, just want to point out that the Galleria Virtuosa, that central section, really was well designed, and it was properly made as the central point of the ship. It really worked like that. So, staying on deck 7, going towards the rear of the ship and into the casino. Again, fantastically well themed. It all turns very red and Vegas and games and all of that kind of thing. As you can see, it's called the Red Gem Casino. Slightly odd thing on here was that you were allowed to smoke inside the casino, which these days you don't expect. But, you know, didn't look like there were many people making use of that anyway. This little bar in the middle showed lots of different sports. So there were quite a few channels on all the time with various sports going on, which is useful. And it did feel like they would have been better served shown elsewhere on the ship rather than just that one bar. Now, this is probably one of my favourite parts of the ship, the carousel lounge. So I just because that was closed when I was doing the walkthrough, this is a little bit of footage from my phone. Doing one of the shows on the evenings. The shows, £7.50 each for a cocktail and a show, and it is so worth it.
Yeah,
it's like circus shows with acrobatics, and I won't be spoiling it when I say that lots of the scenery changes in ways you don't expect. And nipping back out. The two shows that we saw were Archimea and a Jade Dray, I think it was, that were just on the wall there. Again, make sure you see those shows because they are fantastic. 35 minutes each one, so they don't drag, and you are wowed by what they're doing. And then coming back out of the Red Gem Casino and back out towards the Atrium on deck 7. Now it seemed like towards the start of the cruise, a lot of people couldn't find the infinity lifts, the lifts that kind of go on the outside of the ship with like a glass side, so you can get a great view as you're going up and down the lift to outside, you know, either in port or the sea. And they are kind of just tucked away up these corners, but they do go to most floors. So, cut to getting in the lift, and we are going to go straight up to deck 15 because decks 8 to 14 are just cabins, same as it seems most modern cruise ships now. This is pretty much the middle of the ship, and the outside area, deck 15. Go towards the rear. That's the entrance to the buffet on the left hand side. I think that part was called the Sea Pavilion. I'm not sure really why it was different or what was different about it. Just seemed like a slightly differently decorated part of the buffet. Now, this is still in the buffet, but I recorded this at a different time when the buffet was a lot quieter, so I wasn't climbing over people because it can get quite busy. And with this, filming it at a different time, I could walk around the entire thing because it's huge. So, yeah, this is going towards the back of the ship now, deck 15, inside the buffet. What we just walked through is the family section where they have some serving areas, especially for kids, like burgers and sausages and the kind of things you'd expect. Chicken nuggets. Left hand side there is the pizza bar. Always at least 3 different types of pizzas going on right next to the mozzarella factory that is on display when you first come into the buffet. Let's go through a clean-up station there. Then this rotisserie on the left-hand side, then bread and various other things. World cuisine, usually fried rice, noodles, that kind of thing in there. But lots of these are repeated, at least maybe 3 or 4 different times on each of these serving stations. So again, another world cuisine there, another salad section. So this is just getting to the rear of the ship now, and as you can see, you've got more stations. But what you can do is go out the rear. You have a nice little veranda out here. And because it's fairly well covered, you didn't really get too much wind. So as long as it's not absolutely freezing, it was quite nice to sit out here and eat your food, because it was always a bit quieter. And if you feel like it, you can have a look down over the back. It's always a nice view. So from here, you can go up then to deck 16. But in this section, we will go across the rear and go back into the other side of the buffet. As said, it is huge. Another world cuisine. They kind of open certain sections and then close off other sections where they replace the food and change between whether it's breakfast or dinner or whatever. They did have a bar there as well, which is useful if you have a drinks package. You can just go up and collect cans and bottles and various things and leave them unopened and take them back to your room if you want to. Or they will serve you drinks directly to your table as well, but there didn't look like there was really ever enough in the way of waiters to be able to rely on one to come over and serve you a drink. And there we are, coming back out the front side of the buffet. This on the left hand side is I think it's the Infinity Atmosphere bar. apparently they do pizzas there outside and ice creams, but this was quite cold on this cruise and it wasn't particularly busy, so I don't think they opened that, or perhaps they did, but I never saw it. This is just going back into the buffet through the middle section, and then back around to more or less where we started. If you kept up with all that, well done. Okay, so that was the detour through the buffet. This is now on deck 18, towards the rear of the ship, but it's the front of like the rear pod, if you like, which I'll try and explain a little bit better in a bit. But the Sky Lounge, really nice place to look, but it gets busy. Like the seats overlooking the pool are hot property. So we'll walk towards the back of the ship now. Still deck 18 because there's no deck 17 on the ship. I believe 17 is unlucky in Italian in the same way that 13 is for Brits. I'm not sure about that though, don't quote me on it. So this is Do Re Mi Land, or as I wanted to call it, Dormiland. And then looking down on the sports court there, which was always in use. We didn't make use of the kids' facilities, but they look quite comprehensive. Now out into the Attic Club, which I think was for older teenagers. It was attached to the Do Re Mi Land, but I'm not sure. This is the Horizon Bar. The people serving there were fantastic, plying you with drinks and having a laugh and all the rest of it. But I think it's a smoking area as well, that bar, so you can sit there and smoke. But pretty much nobody was, and lots of drinks available. So we are still on deck 18 now, going up to deck 19. Apologies for the wind. And there you can see the Himalayan Bridge, which is free, which I was quite surprised about. Great fun. You weren't really ever feeling like you were too close to the edge, so it wasn't the scariest thing in the world, and it wasn't that difficult either. And this little section up here, a little bit higher up, is the Savannah Water Park. It seemed to be on a couple of days, but again, because the weather was quite cold, almost no one was using it, which is a shame. I think during the summer, in warm weather, all of this will be absolutely vibing. And those are the stairs up to the top of the water slides. That's the Space Bowl water slide. And back towards the Himalayan Bridge. So this is right at the very top of the ship here. Now back down to 18. Some nice little sections, kind of stuck on the outside of the ship for various various purposes, and that little pod there, you had some seats that you got a great view from. And we are now going down to 16. You had like these couple of levels here with sunbeds, and they were always in use a lot during the day. This is the Horizon pool here. I can't be sure if the pools outside were heated or not, or when they do it or not. Whenever I felt them, they didn't feel particularly warm. One thing to be aware of, though, that the pool inside, I think it's the tropical pool. It's warm, but I absolutely scratched my eyes out with salt, because they use salt instead of chlorine, and I opened my eyes underwater, which wasn't nice. So now running around the running track. To give you an idea of how long it takes, this is kind of like a quick jog. Two lanes, one slow, one fast. That's the Sky Lounge on the left hand side there, just above. Place I said where you get some really nice views. And the running track now comes around over this little bridge. Left hand side on the same level is the gym. The banana shaped hot tubs just there that we've gone past. It's always interesting being running right on the edge of something this high up when you're actually in port and you can look down. It's kind of like running around the running track on the top of a block of flats. And coming back round to the start point of the running track again. Okay, and now we're going in the back of the Sportplex. This is deck 16. Deck 16 on the rear section, as just said, has the Sportplex, which is bowling, the Formula 1 simulators, entrance to the sports court, apparently a sports bar, which kind of looked like a reception and about 3 chairs. There's the Formula 1 simulators. And then into some arcade machines. We didn't make use of any of the arcade stuff, or the bowling, or the Formula 1 simulators, or anything. We used the gym a couple of times. The gym was fantastic. It's all brand new techno gym equipment. This guy was fantastic.
You want me to pose for you?
Yeah, please. Wow. No, I won't do the same.
I wasn't expecting those guns. Yep, loads of really good running machines, steppers, bikes. It looked like, unfortunately, the Watt bike style bikes were used for spin classes that I never managed to make it to. Loads of weights, loads of machines, more sit-down bikes up the corner. loads of resistance machines. Yeah, I didn't want to go around filming everybody, but you get the idea. There's loads of things, including loads of free weights down the corner as well. These the well, first of all, this is the Hologate virtual reality thing, and then the 2 bowling alleys which were being repaired or serviced just as I was filming this. So that's the sports bar, which was slightly underwhelming. So we are still on deck 16, going out the back of the sportplex to the Horizon pool, and they call this the amphitheatre as well, with these sun decks. Back onto the running track to get round to the front part. Now, the ship is almost in 2 halves near the top. You've got the front half and the rear half. This is the rear half, where you have the gym, the sportplex, the Dory Meland, and the Sky Lounge, and obviously the buffet as well, a little bit lower down. But then in the middle you have the open air pool that they call the Atmosphere pool, and then at the front is mostly yacht club stuff, which unfortunately I didn't get to film on this because I wasn't in yacht club. But right at the front of the ship you have 3 decks with their topsail lounge, the yacht club restaurant, and the sun deck and bar. So yeah, this is right in the middle of the ship, looking down on the Atmosphere pool, which is fairly big actually. And you had the hot tubs on the right and left hand side, shaped like a banana, which stuck out over the edge. Big screen, which didn't really show anything but those kind of murals or various other things like that. And now we are going into the tropical pool and bar, and this is 2 levels. And because this is an indoor pool, there are lots of people with swimming costumes on and various other things, so I didn't want to film very long in there. But there is a pool, there's a couple of very nice hot tubs, and some table tennis and table football and various other bits in there, as well as a really nice bar. So you can see now this is walking towards the back, and that is the rear pod on top that I was just talking about, that has the gym, the Sky Lounge, and the kids clubs. Eyeline at the moment on the right hand side is the gym. The one just above it is the Sky Lounge. Now back down onto deck 15, which is where we started when we came up the Infinity lift. And all of this section here on the left hand side is smoking. I think all of it is it? Anyway. And that's pretty much the whole ship apart from Yacht Club. The one thing just to highlight and show in this video to finish off is the lifts, and they work absolutely brilliantly. You go up to the panel, touch whichever floor or whichever deck you want to go to. It tells you which lift to get into, A, B, C, D, E or F, and that lift will take you directly to that deck. And it solves so many problems with people crowding into lifts and then going up and down and this kind of stuff. It makes it really efficient. And also very nice to have these sofas around by the lifts as well. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. Hope this is of some use to you.